Hi, my name's Billy.
I'm Alyssa.
And we're the Prindles. We met through some friends. We actually eventually just got together through Facebook.
Media.
Yeah. I don't know if there was ever a real reason why church wasn't a part of our lives. It was just, as we got together, it was just never something that was important to us. We were busy. We were busy just like everybody else. Sundays were a day to relax, watch sports.
We did talk about it though when we first had kids. It was, do we take our kids to church? Do we expose them to that? What's the right thing to do in that situation? And it never ended up happening until last year.
Fall of 2017, I had a pretty rough anxiety attack. It just hit me and I broke down, and it was one of the first times that I ever felt like in my life like I just didn't have control. So it was one of those things that hit us pretty hard, kind of unexpectedly, and I would say it was rough on us. It was rough because she was always the type that I was her rock, and it was tough on us because all of a sudden it was almost like roles reversed. It was more, she was.
I was the constant. He was the wavy one, up, down, up, down, up, down, and I was the one who had to, solidify myself in order to keep everything functioning the way that it was supposed to function and be, a solid for him, even though I personally was never the solid in our relationship up until I had to face it and had to be that person.
I don't know. It was really unexplained, and
like the stress of work and life, everything just kind of boiled over. Like he can handle a lot, but that was just kind of his breaking point.
I didn't know what was missing, at the time, and I think that's what was even harder about my anxiety attack, because you kind of don't know what the answer is, because I felt like I always had the answers through like my personal strength, but
what we were trying, what we were doing, what we were experiencing, like there was just definitely a void that our cup wasn't full. No matter how much we tried to pour into it, no matter what avenues we took, we were in a rough patch, like super rough. I never thought that, after being married for 5 years, that we would be in the position to where we just didn't know if it was gonna work out for us or if this is what we really wanted, because we both were just fighting battles, and we were fighting them on our own. We were fighting them against each other instead of with each other.
I feel like growing up, like you were always, trained as a male to be that alpha male, to be that strong male at all given times. And I felt like I was failing. I felt like I, was soft. I thought I was, feeling that, I just really genuinely feel like I was letting, my wife down. And like I say, we just needed something more. I was at work, and a lady came through the door, started helping her out, and we just got on the conversation of like, what are you out doing? What do you got going on today? And she told me she was actually getting ready to go to church, and so the conversation just genuinely came up, and asked her where she went. She said Rockharbor, and so I said, oh man, I've heard about Rockharbor. We have some friends that go to Rockharbor, and then all of a sudden through the door came the pastor, and she was just like, hey, come here. I want to introduce you to Billy. And so he got a chance to, invite us to Rockharbor. I actually drilled him with a bunch of questions because I'm like, okay, I got.
You asked him what you should wear.
Yeah, I'm like, what should I wear? What should tell me exactly what's gonna happen.
Sweaty palms, nervous Billy.
Yeah. So he gave me the whole breakdown of like, okay, like they're gonna do 4 songs, and then we're gonna do a service, and I'm gonna talk, and then afterwards, the kids get a chance to go through and hunt for some eggs. So I was like, okay, well, I think I can do that. And so as soon as I went on break, I called Alyssa and just said, hey, like, I got a chance to meet the pastor, and we got to.
He invited us to church, and we were going. I said yes.
Yeah. I remember getting in the shower that morning, and I'm like, man, I am so nervous to go to church. I thought the place was going to burn down when I walked through.
I felt guilty going because I was going to support him at that time. Like I wasn't fully on board with, I'd been in church, I'd known, I knew how it went, but I was going to support him. It was something he wanted to do. He committed us to it, so there I was.
But I just remember, the service last year, but I remember we got a piece of rope. And it was talking about just all the knots, but it was just one of those things that, like, as we were singing, I'm like, man, like, I think they picked the song because it's hit directly home to me, and and I just, man, there were so many times that it really just struck me. And then
Keith's message was about anxiety and the, like you said, the rope unraveling and these knots that we get stuck on, and we literally both were sitting there like, man, this service is meant for us, like we are supposed to be here, he's talking straight to us. And it literally felt like that.
I've always felt like we were good people, whether it was before church, whether it was something, after church. But, I feel like we, instead of fighting against our marriage, we fight for our marriage. And we know that that's something that's, that's important to us. And
there was a day when I just let go of everything and just gave it to the Lord and said, like, I can't do this on my own. And, I'm willing to walk the walk of life, whatever you so choose that to be, but as long as I have your guidance and know that this is the journey that I'm supposed to be on, like I'm willing to go through it the way that you want me to. And
I remember it's November 18th, of 2018 that I surrendered my life to Jesus, and I felt like it was the right time. We actually weren't even in the same service together.
Oh, no, I think I served that morning, and then I went to church by myself.
But it was just something that, like, man, I was so excited to tell you about. I was excited to tell Keith and Scott about. But it was a day I'll never forget.
This last year has been definitely a growing experience, and the things that we want and are searching for, and our goals to achieve are just so much different now than they were. And we want our kids to be raised in a house that provides a solid foundation for them. And I don't know, everything's different. We want more. We want to be closer to Jesus. We want to live for Jesus. We want to serve Jesus in the way that he put us on this earth to serve him for.